Welcome to Chris and Carlette Live, a podcast about life, love, and overcoming obstacles. Each week, we discuss the good, the bad, and the indifferent of life's interruptions. Now, here's your host, Chris and Carlette.
Keep believing, don't go stressing, keep it moving. God, we're resting, here to help you, here to bless you. With God on our side, CNC Life.
Y'all want body armor?
Thank you.
Off your feet. Off your feet. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You made me work for that one.
Team and we had her on the show. She's an attorney. She was talking about NIA accounts. I mean,
NIL. Sorry, y'all. We didn't have any sound but we got it though. All right, but yeah, go ahead.
So it was a wonderful time, and they got me again. The coach, the president of the team, he was down there, Coach Charles, and I'm telling you, they got me again. The last time they honored me was 5 years ago, and I was crying then, didn't know, and they got me again 5 years later. So I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. Yeah, I look kind of. I said, I'm grateful for the pink T-shirt, but they could have told me, or he could have said, won't you wear something real cute today? I looked like I was serving food, okay? But most of all, I'm here, and I'm grateful. God is good. He's a healer, and I'm here, okay? So, yeah.
Let's see. Will he do it?
Okay.
What
is it doing? Oh, the heart.
Trying to put the heart. This thing, the AI.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so anyway, listen, we have a great guest today. We are talking about LLCs, myth-busting LLCs today. We met this young lady exactly, 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks. Dos.
2
weeks ago at the GGU Girl Get Up Conference that is hosted by our sister, Pastor Felicia Blakely, of the High Praise Outreach Ministries in Michigan City. And this, our guest today, she was one of the vendors there, and she was a panel speaker as well. And I forget exactly, but she wanted to talk about, mainly her thing was, don't leave your family here without what to do when you leave. Like, you got to have some money. So she was telling people, you need to have insurance, you need to get a will. She was like, it is such, it's very selfish. I remember her saying it is selfish to leave here without a plan for your family, and they have to deal with all your business. And just what happens when your stuff ends up in probate. And she had a short amount of time, but she gave us a lot of wisdom. But what we want to talk about, when I met her, my husband met her and her husband first. He said, go talk to them. We need them on the show. And when I saw their sign, I was like, absolutely. Because there are so many things out here now that's saying about LLCs that not true. Not true. And people are finding themselves in problems or very costly problems. So here we are. We're going to bring in our guest, Miss Shantelle Shabazz. Yes, here she is with her pretty self. And I would like to say she is the friend of our own Miss Kimberly Lee. Yes.
Let's see. You're on mute. Yeah.
I think my computer mutes. There we go. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
How are you?
Very good, very good. Yeah, me and Kim go way back to 7th grade.
Oh,
that's how far back we go. But
yeah.
we're not gonna drop years, people, because
okay,
that ain't none of their business.
Okay, right. I understand. Well, let me do
what they say, TMI? No.
TMI, right.
But you look beautiful. So I'm a read her bio. Here we are, Miss Shantelle Shabazz, entrepreneur, real estate investor, mentor, coach, business consultant. She is a seasoned business consultant with nearly 2 decades of experience in real estate investing and financial services. As a consultant with Nove Money, I hope I say that right, Nove Money. Did I say it right? Okay.
Yes.
She offers a wide variety of fintech-based solutions, including personal credit counseling, LLC registration, business credit building, personal and business funding, wills and trust, and more. Her dedication is helping others stem from her deep-rooted values as a woman of God, a wife, a mother, and a businesswoman. She is passionate about supporting her family and empowering clients by equipping them with the financial tools they need to succeed. If you want to contact her, we will put her information in the comments, but she is at Shantelle Shabazz. Oh, no, not that. www.tipswithtella.com. That is her website, tipswithtella.com. Okay. So, oh, wow. So
I think you said it all. It's show over. Time to go. That's it.
Right.
So, okay. So let's welcome her yet again. We thank you for coming. Thank you out of your busy schedule. Let me tell you all something. I love when I said, okay, we need to talk. She's like, okay, I'm going to send you a date and you confirm that'll be good for you. She sent me her invite to date and let me know if we could talk. And we had 30 minutes. She had us scheduled out for 30 minutes and we stayed in that timeline. I may have given her 1 minute back and, but I loved it. I loved it. You know, your money, you know, you can get money back, but you can't get time back. So you have to value your time, everybody else's time, and be considerate. So I thank you for this time that you allotted for us to come here on Chris and Carlette Live.
Oh no, I want to give it back to you both because what you're doing here is providing you're serving. Yeah. And I believe it's just so amazing what you two are doing and what you're putting out there and the love that you're showing just through doing this podcast and just spreading the information to so many people is truly amazing. So you two need to give yourselves a pat on the back because goodness. Yes. And I want to send a shout out to High Praise Outreach Ministries and Pastor Felicia Blakely because they were the connection. You know, if I didn't get the invite to even come, my best friend invited me to be in attendance. And Pastor Felicia actually caught one of my lives on Facebook where we were talking about wills and trust.
Okay.
And she was like, this is something, she's like, this is last minute. Our lineup is already done, but this is something that we need to talk about because we don't talk about it. If anything, our community, you know, tries to run away from it. We think it's bad luck to talk about death and talk about planning for life afterwards, right? So that's where I was invited to speak on the panel. We only had a couple minutes because we were running a little bit behind schedule. But one of the main things I tried to tell the audience that was there, our congregation that was there, was that if you're going to do at least one thing, right? Mm-hmm. Planning for your loved ones is the most unselfish thing that you can do. Mm-hmm. And at least at minimum, if you don't want to put the will in place, you don't, have the funds to do a trust, at least go through your accounts. I told everyone to have a list of scheduled, if you have assets, if you have bank accounts, IRAs, 401ks, anything investment tool, go through all your accounts. At least make sure you have your beneficiaries named on your accounts. That's at minimum what you can do.
So that's those bank accounts, like you said,
yes.
401ks. Would you say like a couple okay, I'll use us as an example. When we did our first will, even with our life insurance, we put each other as the beneficiary. And at the time we were first married, we didn't have any children. So once he came, we had to go back in the office, add his name, and of course we've had more children, go back in that office or make that phone call, fax that information with names and date of birth to add to. What do you have to say about that?
So if people want to kind of just get around having to continuously update the beneficiaries that's listed on like the insurance policies on your 401ks, what you can do is if you do form a trust, and I'll be brief because I know we're supposed to be myth busting today with the LLC.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get there.
If you have it, you can form a trust and you can name the beneficiary the trust. The trust pours over all those things, right? Mm-hmm. So this is one of those kind of like little tips that you can do to kind of make sure that you're covering all your bases. If everything is outlined in your trust, if you're naming the trust as a beneficiary to a lot of these counts, it's covered, right? Because everything is going to be paid to the trust and the trust is going to be paid out to your beneficiaries. Mm-hmm. Now, if a trust is not the way you want to go, you just have to make sure that your life sometimes be lifing.
Yeah.
But we need to make sure we're doing our due diligence and we're just updating things as life changing for us.
Right.
I was telling our sisters at the conference, even if you have a will, even if you have a trust, now is your time right now to go back and look over these things again and make sure that you're updating it with any things that's changed. If there was a marriage, if there was a divorce, if you had a child, if you have more assets that you added to your portfolio. These are things that, at least once a year at minimum, you should be going back and just looking over things at minimum.
Okay.
I like to do it 2 times a year, but my husband says, I got a little bit of OCD, so I just, I just do it 1 time a year.
Okay.
So I just, 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 I just,
It's not. I mean, and stuff happens through the year. It really does. You acquire things. Some stuff you no longer have. You get mad at somebody and say, "I'm taking you out my will." Well, hey, you can do that. You can do that. So,
Yes.
okay.
And it's so simple because even with the will in a lot of states, you can write it out as long as you get two non-familial witnesses to sign off over what you wrote down on a piece of paper. That will can be validated in court. So a lot of people don't know that. So definitely, if anyone's looking for more information about it, they can definitely reach out to me or seek legal advice, whatever route you want to go. But you just have to do it. All right.
So what? Okay. So I'm not going to ask you this question that you just said because we are actually having a part 2, guys. This is part 1. We probably should have labeled that, but part 2 is next week. Where we will discuss trusts and wills and whatever else that we want to cover. Okay. So myth busting. When I met them, I said, we need to discuss, number 1, of course, having one, but number 2, what are you doing once you have it? Because there is so many TikToks and videos out here. With an LLC, you can get this, and you can do this, and you can do that. And they make it seem like you put it there, and you ain't got to pay for this stuff.
Oh, my gosh.
Or, I mean, it just seemed like, oh, you get this, and you could do this, and you could do, I mean, you still have, we have to talk about it. So let's build up to that. But let's first, okay, LLC, why should I have one versus an S Corp?
So the main purpose, and what a lot of people don't realize, because like you mentioned, people think a LLC is a way to get money, right? The main purpose of an LLC is literally to protect your personal assets from your business debts. Literally, that's the main purpose. So I like to tell this to a lot of our clients all the time, especially to our hairstylists out there, to our queens that's doing braids, nail techs that's operating from home. You are running a business. It's okay if it's a sole proprietorship. You're getting your start. But however, if something was to happen to that client while you're braiding her hair or doing her nails, you are liable. If you don't have a LLC, which is a limited liability company that's separating you as the person from your business, if they get an infection in their nails, if their hair starts to fall out, they slip and fall while they're in their living room, while they're in your living room and you're braiding their hair,
Kitchen beautician.
they can sue you.
Oh, wow.
And everything that you have in your personal name, your personal assets, your bank account, if you own property, they can go after the equity in your home. If you have a mortgage on it, they can still go after the equity in your home. These are things that you're opening up to liability if you're not creating that separation.
Because folks
So,
is
first off-
sue happy.
Yeah.
Oh, we definitely we are in a litigious society, and I was listening to somebody today. They told somebody, "Oh, I sue." I do sue. I'm just letting you know. Okay, keep going.
Absolutely. So that's the main point, because an LLC is just a separate entity from yourself. You're an entity according to the government. A lot of people don't know that we're classified as entities.
Yeah, that's why we have a social security number. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So when you have an LLC, what is your LLC getting? It's getting an EIN number. Has anyone ever noticed that the EIN number is the same length as a social security number?
Yes, it is.
So instead of you being the person being over this business, now you create a separate entity that is under the business. So these is one of the things that you're creating that separation. Now, some people form this LLC and they don't do the extra work behind forming the LLC. What you also still have to do with your LLC is to, yes, create the separation. If you don't set up a separate business bank account and you're still using your personal account to pay out funds, to receive income, revenue, you're co-mingling those funds. You're now piercing that corporate veil that the LLC was protecting you from, and now you still have liability because now you're not creating that separation.
Interesting.
So how do you pay yourself from the LLC, which is another myth that we are busting?
Yes, yes. So you can pay yourself from the LLC, whether you want to set up an account where you're paying a payroll to yourself, or if you want to still maintain the LLC as a flow through entity, you can actually take a loan from your LLC and pay yourself back interest from this loan that you're taking. So there's a few things that you can do, but at the end of the day, the LLC flows through directly to you. You are still taxed on this LLC, depending on how you have it tax structured. You're still being taxed at like a self-employment tax rate because it automatically defaults when you set up an LLC to a sole proprietorship type status as a disregarded entity. So I wouldn't suggest changing the tax status to an S corp because that's something you can also do under an LLC. If you're making a significant amount of funds, I say maybe 100K plus in your business, that's when you might want to re-strategize tax-wise and look into changing the LLC from just a disregarded entity into an S corp tax filing status. And then that way you can set yourself as a W-2 employee, and then you're paying less on taxes. So that's what a lot of people are doing as well.
So what if you just got started and you just established your LLC? However, you're not generating the income that you could pay yourself from. So at that point, you still have to use your personal funds if you have a 9-to-5 or whatever to, fund the LLC to buy and purchase, items and so forth. So how do you do that?
So you can still, because it's a flow through, as long as you're keeping the bank account separate. So any money that you're making that's coming into the LLC, it needs to go into that separate LLC bank account, right? If your LLC needs to take a loan from you personally, you just need to write that up. So you create a contract between yourself and your business that you personally are loaning your LLC money, right? So that way it's not co-mingling the funds. Okay. So everything, paperwork, notate everything. If you have an LLC, you should be keeping minutes, and these minutes should be documenting any meetings that you're holding. Even if you're a single member LLC, you need to be having meetings with yourself, and you need to document that. And you need to make note that on this date at this time, I took a personal loan from my personal account to lend it to my business. And this is the statutes of the contract of the loan that I'm taking out for the personal loan for my business. So if you want to be able to personally fund your business, you just need to make sure that you're documenting and you're making payments back to yourself.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Okay. So she just said document, take minutes of everything. So what I take that as, take yourself seriously, take your business seriously to the next level. If you have a hair salon, if you have a nail shop, if you braid hair, document. I had 7 people today. Oh, no. In the beauty shop, we had a meeting. Document, this is what we discussed. 7 people were in attendance. We talked about product. We talked about using up all the hair dryers at the same time because you overbooked. I mean, whatever, take it more serious. If you are the kitchen beautician, hey, girl, you are still good. Write down.
Kitchen beautician.
Listen.
Somebody go take that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's
I got my hair
nothing
braided
wrong
a
with
few
that.
months ago by a kitchen beautician, and she was one of the best braiders I've ever
They
went
be
to.
the
No,
best
I'm
ones.
saying
I'm
that somebody
telling
go
you.
take that name and run it and go get it.
A kitchen beautician.
Kitchen
That's the listen.
I want her
that's-
info. Just hit me up.
Right.
DM me out.
right. And Attorney Edwards, who I talked about earlier, she said, I just want to say, as an attorney, I approve of everything
And I
Shantella
approve
is sharing.
this message.
Well, thank you
Yes.
very much. Yes,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
we try to make sure all our clients are set up the right way. They have all the right information. And if it's something that I don't know, then I also put them in contact with attorneys that's on our team, that's through the affiliate program that we work with through Nove Money. We make sure that our clients are taken care of. So we're not out here trying to spread around any false information.
Right.
It's just so much out there, and it's just so sad because I get a lot of clients coming to me, and it's just like, I just don't know what to believe and which way to go at this point.
Okay.
Hey guys, if you're still watching us, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube and Facebook channel. We would greatly appreciate it. Just take the time and click that subscribe button and hit that bell so you can get notified every time we go live.
So another myth I want to bust. You don't, and you kind of hit on it. You don't need an LLC if you're based out of your home or have no employees.
Well, I will tell you this. You actually can still operate under your name. That's called a sole proprietorship. If you're not ready to form an LLC, this is something that you can still do. There's people who, instead of wanting to share their social security number with vendors, you can set up an EIN number and link it to yourself. You don't necessarily have to have an LLC to run a business. You completely correct on that. The LLC, like I mentioned before, is more so just to offer yourself that personal protection. So like we mentioned, if someone's to slip and fall in that kitchen, they can't take your home. They can't take what's in your personal account. They can't go after, people go after your 401ks now. They're going after your investment accounts. So it's more so to offer yourself that liability protection and to provide that separation. But yes, you can totally operate as a sole proprietor. You can also purchase insurance for yourself as well to try to help cover for any liability on that end. Now, it depends on the insurance company that you're working with. Sometimes if you're a homeowner, you can talk to your personal insurance agent and see if you can add liability coverage for offering a home-based business out of your home. I know State Farm had some policies that they were offering. But definitely reach out to your insurance agent and see if that's something that you can add on. But I would definitely suggest insurance, people. Okay. That is your friend.
State Farm too high. No, it's just I got a question. So, you mentioned something just a few minutes ago. They're going after your 401ks and all that kind of stuff, your house, your investments. Now, so if you have your LLC, would that be extra protection? And I'm kind of diving back what we were talking about earlier. So then if you put your non-LLC assets in a trust, would you kind of be sort of fully protected against any lawsuits because people can't go after the trust?
Yeah, so if you have a trust, that's one of the best forms of protection that you can do. Mm-hmm. If you have an LLC, sometimes people think the LLC is offering you protection against lawsuits. The LLC on its own is not offering you protection against lawsuits. If you have a property that you purchase, say you own a rental property and you put it under the LLC name, and something was to happen on the property, the tenant fell in the yard, they can still sue the LLC. The property equity is still liable in that LLC and is subject to lawsuit because it's in that LLC. The only thing the LLC is keeping you separate from is them coming after your personal bank accounts, right? And that's if you are making sure you're not piercing that corporate veil by commingling funds. So you just want to make sure you're keeping everything separate.
Okay. So can the LLC have a trust?
The LLC can be named in the trust, yes.
So that people won't go after the asset, right? Or be sued?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's taking a little bit of a deeper dive, so we're gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
See, that's when you need to set up.
That's a whole nother episode.
Okay, right. That's a whole nother. Okay.
Or better yet, that's when you go to the website. Tips with Tella. Did I say it right? Tips with Tella.
Yes.
Yes,
you did.
And you go and you set up your appointment to go deeper. Okay,
mm-hmm.
we're doing surface. Okay, you go deeper. You need to pay for that. We're making you thirsty. We're letting you realize how you need to talk to her. Okay, seriously, you really do. This is because we can go into crowdfunding, we can go into this funding, we can go a whole different way with this. That might even go into next week when you're dealing with lack of wills and stuff and all this GoFundMe's, but we're gonna leave that alone, okay? Listen, when we know better, what we do better, and that's the hope and the prayer. Okay, now another myth: LLCs are only for small businesses.
No, it is not. You can be a larger corporation having LLCs. Donald Trump has over 100 LLCs. So that's
That should tell you
That right
something right there.
That right there. That right there. And she just said
so it's
something.
not just for the small business owners.
Right.
No.
And she just said something else. You can have more than one. She
Yes.
catch that. She just said it without saying it directly. Yes.
About to owe me a one up tomorrow then.
Go get you another. All right.
Right.
Okay. So, all right. Next one. Your business needs to be a corporation to benefit from investors. Or is that a deep dive myth?
No, your business doesn't need to be a corporation to benefit from investors. So you can be an LLC, you can be a C Corp, you can be an S Corp, crowdfunding. You can have investors all pouring into your business, no matter what type of entity you are. So yeah, that's definitely a myth.
Okay. Next, if you form a LLC as in a tax haven state, you don't have to pay taxes.
Myth.
What is your definition of a tax?
No, seriously,
haven?
this stuff is
what
a
is-
tax haven state.
What does that mean?
It depends on your state. If your state
Oh,
is
okay.
considered a tax haven state,
Okay.
She means like a Delaware, a Wyoming. So
Minnesota
this is
too,
why.
right? Isn't Minnesota
Yeah, there's a
tax
couple
haven?
different states that offers that, and then it helps you to remain anonymous, and they don't have certain taxes that you have to pay if you form your LLC there. But if you don't live in those states where your LLC is being formed in, then you still need to be able to operate in the state that you're currently in, right? If you want to set up a bank account in the state that you live in, but your LLC is set up in Wyoming, you'll need to fill out a foreign entity form in order to do business in any other state outside of the state that you originally formed the LLC in. And in those states that you're operating your business out of, you are subject to tax.
Oh wow.
So you can't completely avoid it, especially if you are doing the majority of your business actually out of the state that you're residing in that doesn't offer that tax protection.
Now, what about so you have your LLC, but you also have this other company that you want to put underneath the LLC, so you do a DBA. So how does that function? Am I going too deep, y'all?
She'll let you know. Is that going too deep?
Well, I just didn't want to get into the trust because I think we were going to save
That's
that for
Okay,
a
that's
different
next week.
episode.
Okay,
That's
okay,
next
all
week.
right.
All right.
Yeah.
Here's another
So-
One question.
I'm sorry.
So I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question? So you
so
said the
you have
LLC
you
is
have
DBA?
you have like a couple different companies, and your umbrella company is, let's say, Chris Edwards, and then you want to also put another one under there, and you just do it as a DBA. So what's the advantages of a DBA or pros and cons?
Well, it depends on how you set up the LLC. A lot of people sometimes don't set up the LLC with the proper structure. So say you had a credit repair business and you set up your LLC, Smitty's credit repair business. But now that name is getting red flagged by different funding institutions because credit repair is considered a high risk industry. You can form a DBA to now operate your business out of and go and apply for funding and do other things operating under that DBA. So it kind of helps give you a little bit more flexibility and kind of like a do-over without having to restart and redo a whole nother LLC.
Gotcha.
That's just a little bit of it.
Okay.
Another one. LLCs are expensive and complex to create.
Actually, myth. I would say that's a myth, but it depends. It's kind of subject to the individual because what's expensive to me might not be expensive to someone else. Forming an LLC, the application takes maybe 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes just to form the LLC and register it with the Secretary of State. Because a lot of people don't know is that When you're setting up an LLC, you're actually just registering with the state that you're residing in, or a state that you, like we mentioned before, if you don't want it to be in your state, you want some anonymity there, you can form it in one of those other states that kind of helps offer that protection. But with that, it takes about 15-20 minutes to walk through the application process and get the LLC going. And you mostly what you're responsible for is paying your state filing fee to get it started. So it depends on which state that you're located in on how much that filing fee would be. So I know in the state of Georgia, it's $100 to get it filed with the state. Here where I am in Illinois, it's about $154. In Indiana, the conference that we're at, that was about $100. So it varies from state to state. I believe Texas is a little bit more pricey, it's $309. But that's just to register the business. There are other things that you should do for your LLC to make sure it's structured properly, to make sure you have an operating agreement, to also just make sure that you have your book where you have your minutes that can be logged, just all these different things that kind of tie into an LLC that may cost you a little bit more money. But just to form it, to get it going, the cost is pretty low.
So if you say you already have your LLC, right? We did everything, as far as filing. Do you assist people with, say they had their LLC for a few years and they didn't really structure it right? Do you help people come in and do everything that you just mentioned? As far as
so
getting
the company, that I'm partnered with through Nove Money, we actually have a business credit program where our specialists will come in and they'll help review your LLC, see how everything was laid out, and they'll go in and help you fix any issues that you've been having with it, especially if you've been applying for funding and been getting denied. The program that we offer actually guarantees at least $50,000 in funding if you go through the program. So they help you with making sure that you have a business address registered to your LLC, that you have email, a domain linked to your business, that you have a business website. They help you create your business website as well. Get a business phone number, and not just a secondary cell phone number, people, 1-800 number that you can be actually linked to your business name. We also help you get applying for business credit to help build your business credit profile, and then get to the funding that you actually want to secure with the business.
Wow. All right.
So www.tipswithtella.com. That's tipswithtella.com. That is again www.tipswithtella.com.
Come check me out.
Yes, please go to her website, find out, how they can be of assistance to you. Take yourself seriously, take your business to the next level. You go to these different conferences, girl, do this, or man, do that. Well, here's the person that's going to help you do that. You've been crocheting, you've been making everybody an outfit. Guess what? Take it next level. You've been making cakes, you've been painting, you've been doing dance lessons, you've been doing piano lessons, okay? You teaching people sign language, whatever this gift is, whatever this business idea is, you've been tutoring, you've been doing after school program. Grandma, you've been taking care of everybody's kids in the community. Listen, it's time to take it seriously and take it to the next level. And you need to talk to Shantelle Shabazz, business coach, financial consultant. She's going to help you take your business to the next level. And we are myth busting LLCs today. We definitely are. So, is there any words of wisdom to the person that has one, but give them the reason why they need to go and get the next one?
Absolutely.
Meaning LLC.
So one of the main things I say with an LLC is some people don't know that a part of building your business, especially if you're a startup, right? Mm-hmm. There is funding out there for you, right? Even through Nove, we have business funding. That's one of the main things that we specialize in. We try to help people get to the funding, right? But we're helping people in a way where we're helping people fix their credit for free. or we have options for a paid option, depending on how much time you want to devote. I actually help walk through people's LLC application with them. So as they're going along the process, if they have questions when they're filling out the information for the Secretary of State, I actually offer that service for free as well, because what I want to make sure that you're doing is make sure that you're structuring properly in order to be able to make sure you're able to get the maximum funding that you want to do for your business so that you can grow it and that you can offer your services to your community. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the main reasons why we're kind of out here and we're trying to help people as much as possible. And we don't charge for a lot of our services. Now, with the LLCs, what I do see a lot of is that people are coming and telling people that they can qualify for funding just from the LLC. No.
Yes, thank you.
If you're a brand new business and you have zero time in business, or under 2 years, or if you don't really have a lot of income, a lot of revenue that's come into the business as of yet, because you're still new, you're still trying to get your footing, what's going to happen? You can get qualified for credit cards. You can get qualified for funding in your business name. But if you want to maximize your funding potential, the lenders, the credit card companies are going to want to look at your personal credit, because you are a brand new baby. Your business is a brand new baby. Just like you personally, you had no credit. When you first started out, you probably needed a co-signer. You basically need to be a co-signer for your business. They're not looking to anyone else, because at the end of the day, this is your baby. This is your business. Mm-hmm. So they want to see that you believe in it enough to back it. So if you want to get the maximum funding for your business, you need to make sure on the personal side that your credit is together. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's the best way that you could go about being able to be there for your business and get the maximum funding potential that you want to get, especially if you're a brand new business. Now, I'm not talking about the veteran business owners who've been at it. They make the income. Mm-hmm. Their business can stand on their own. I'm talking about our brand new business owners who are listening to a lot of the gurus, mm-hmm. and they're telling them about credit card stacking and things like that. But mm-hmm. what they're not mentioning to you is that you need, at minimum, a 670, 680 credit score to qualify for a lot of funding. When you're applying for these relationships with these credit card companies to get funding, the best way you can go about it is making sure that you're developing relationships. Any way you go, you look at it, it's about community. It's about what you're supplying to another business in order to get what you need from that business. So you want to maximize your funding. If you have a personal account that you have with a bank, say you have a Bank of America account, you have a personal checking and savings with them, go to that bank and see what they have available for their business accounts for your LLC. Open up a business personal account, open up a business savings account. Actually put money into the account, because that's one thing that people forget to do. They forget to actually fund these accounts, and they say, "Oh, they never offered me a credit card, or never offered me a line of credit or a loan." Well, you can open an account, but if you're not showing them that you believe in them enough to put your money in their account, why would they want to give you any money?
Now, see, that sounds like something really good for people who get paid with cash.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because, like, I remember a long time ago, my hairdresser easily walking out the shop with $1,500 a day. And he said, I have to discipline myself, because you got money in your hands. I have to discipline myself to take it to the bank. I have to So now it's like, not only take it to the bank, but go fund your LLC. Mm-hmm. She told us earlier, if you all were listening, put that under the LLC and pay yourself, get paid out of your, it's almost like making your LLC your employer or your middleman, your personal HR. Mm-hmm. And sitting there and like, this makes so much sense. But yes, the people that's getting paid with Cash App, Venmo, it's still, it's almost like cash as well. Allocate that money differently is what she's saying. It is being smarter with your dollars. Because guess what, guys? We're all getting older. You may look fresh and fly, but you're going to have a plan when you can't do what you're doing now anymore. You have to save now for later. You just can't live for today. You got to live for tomorrow also. I remember this lady that was a best friend with my mother-in-law. She said, you have to plan to be old. You have to plan to be old. I'm going to leave that right there.
Yes, you do. I was just telling my business partners today. I was, we were talking about, just taking on too much. Sometimes we stretch ourselves too thin. And I'm like, I'm not what I was in my 20s. We don't operate the same way.
Right.
So you have to make a plan for your life because I can't go team no sleep anymore and just all gas, no brakes.
Right.
So the best thing I could do for myself
Right.
is to set up a plan and follow the plan and set goals and make sure everything is structured, because at the end of the day, why would you want to work that hard? Why would you want to be all gas, no brakes? You can do that when you're younger, but as you get older, this is the time where you're supposed to be enjoying the fruits of all that labor that you put in and set up for yourself. So definitely, LLCs are great. They offer that protection for yourself. That's just a stepping stone. We still have to keep going. We have to keep building. Like we mentioned before, you still need to set up the wills and trusts for additional protection for yourself, for your family, for your assets. And it just keeps going from there.
Okay. And I was putting your website again in the comments, tipswithtella.com. Okay, again, we are scratching the surface. This is not your appointment. This is the initial consultation. Okay. This is the teaser reel. Okay. So, wow. Okay, you had a question. I don't want you to lose it.
I just lost it.
You lost it?
Yeah, go
It was
ahead.
going to be good, too.
I don't know. I can't remember if it was or not.
Okay, let's trigger it. She was talking about handling cash. She was talking about.
No, I didn't have a question about that.
You had a question though.
No, I was thinking need to put some of that cash underneath your pillow for a rainy day. But go ahead.
But that is
no, don't do that. Put it in a high yield savings account. Do that instead.
Okay. But what? No, I'm saying. Well, I'm looking at these banks. You can't access your money from.
See that? Bank of America. Ooh.
It's all right. It's public knowledge.
Bank of America. Yeah, it is public knowledge. People couldn't get their money. Their accounts was saying zero. Am I right?
$1,000 or something in your pillow.
That was what was going across the air, media. That people, I saw it. Bank of America. I don't know. I guess their system went down. I don't know what the reason was.
It went down for a day or something like that. And it was mainly the app. I think if you went into the banking center, you can still get access to your
still get money. But how many people do that? A lot of people. I'm beyond. I don't like going to the bank. I mean, it's like I'll be like, can that be wired? Can that? She said you can at Fifth Third.
I know that's right. Now I like going to restaurants. Now go out. Let's go get some food.
Right, and let me know. And you on your phone, like, okay, deposit hit. Okay, And so when you don't have that access, or you go to your app and it says zero, that you gonna get on the phone. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here?
Somebody steal my money.
Did somebody steal my money? And so I think what Chris is saying is, what are you saying?
I'm saying just take like some of that money and just put it in a safe or something at home, just in case something happens.
Yeah, we call that petty cash.
Petty cash. Exactly. That's what what's her name said she had. The attorney, Fannie Willis. She had some petty cash.
Yeah, you keep a little petty cash at home, but I also don't keep all my money in one bank.
Yeah.
That's
diversify. Right.
Definitely diversify. Whether it's a Fifth Third, shout out to Fifth Third. Go see Kimberly Lee at Fifth Third Bank. She'll set you up. Shameless plug.
Hold on now. I work for a bank. I don't know if I should say which bank I work for. I'll put it this way. I work for the Bank of the Stars.
Yeah.
I work for the Bank of the Stars. Y'all look that up.
That's right.
No, but
yeah, even through our platform, we help you find a high yield savings account too. So we try to encompass a lot of different services and products, that we can offer to people to kind of help them get started, because a lot of people, even with savings account, you're earning minimum interest on that. So the majority of your money, if you want to stay liquid, you should check out a high yield savings account. But again, I think
But see that, and we talking high yield for money to sit, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
If you still want to be able to remain liquid, because you have your money market accounts, you have CDs, but this is locking your money up. You have stocks and bonds that you can buy, but again, you don't have quick access to your money. So if you have an emergency fund that you're trying to keep, we say standard 6 months, but nowadays I believe you should at least have a year worth of savings, because 6 months in this economy is not going to get you very far. So at least having a year worth of savings into your account, just don't keep it in a regular savings. Keep that money in a high yield account. That way you're earning upwards of depending on what the market is doing right now, between 4 to 6%, instead of just 0.01%.
Or you can get with Tony Golden, her IUL, and it's at about 9%. But
there you go.
All right. This is my last question, because I don't want to go into what part two, guys, next week. Part 2, we're going to be dealing with the trust, will versus trust versus, what was the other thing? Real estate investing? No, real estate financing. It was something that's dealing that, because we're bringing in your husband next week.
Oh, I think he was just going to talk about real estate, but yeah, we'll have to.
We'll fine tune that. But
week.
just know, we will be with the Shabazzes next week, part 2.
Shabazz.
Okay, ministries and LLCs.
Yes.
Let's tackle that just real quick. Ministries and LLCs. Where is the place for it?
Well, I mean, it depends on the ministry, right? A lot of our ministries can form a 501(c) or 503K, right? To kind of have that tax exemption status. Now, if the ministry itself is operating a business, say the ministry owns a bookstore or they're selling goods and things like that, and they want to create that separation if they're operating other businesses out of the ministry, the LLC can be a great tool for them to definitely utilize. So I would say yes to an LLC for a ministry or a church or an organization as well.
Okay.
So you can. It just depends on how you're using it. But for the most part, if they have the ability to be a tax exempt status, a tax exempt entity through the church or through the entity itself, I would utilize it. But if you, like I mentioned, forming other businesses, because I know a couple churches out there that have bookstores, or they have, they run a daycare center, things like that. So that also offers that extra separation from the church versus the daycare center that they're running.
Gotcha.
Okay. Well, you heard it there. Miss Shantelle Shabazz. Go to www.tipswithtella.com. That's TIPSWITHTELLA.com. Tips with Tella. Make that appointment and tell her you heard her on Chris and Carlette live. Yes, you did. Okay. Any final words?
I just want to say thank you for inviting me on the show. I definitely appreciate you guys both and what you're doing here. And thank you for just allowing me to be on your platform. So just thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks. Thank you.
We can't wait to. That's what I want to talk about next week. Trust. Carlette's thing is
because I'm
LLC,
starting off with the heavy question. I already got that. She already know the question. I'm starting off with the heavy question because I wanted her to drop that bomb so bad 2 weeks ago, but we ran out of time. So I pulled her to the side and I asked her. I already knew the answer. I just wanted to hear her say it. So we're gonna start off with that next week. We appreciate you, Miss Shabazz. Yes. You are always welcome to the Chris and Carlette Live. I'm thankful to God for the relationship. I believe that is being developed because we're gonna make us an appointment.
Yeah, we need one.
We got to do some. We got to do
Come
some
see me.
reorganization. We got to do some reorganization. Okay, we want to, when you hear and learn to do better, it's time to do it. It's nothing like just gaining knowledge and doing nothing with it. That's insanity and want something different. So, okay, we thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Tell your husband we say hello and thank you. And
definitely do.
when we're off, we're going to call you. Okay, so don't go to sleep too fast.
Already halfway there.
That's right. What'd you say? You running out of gas. You about to press the brakes. Okay. Well, we'll call you as soon as we get off, okay?
All right, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. All right. There we go.
All right. So listen, this was wonderful. This was good. A lot of information, as much as we can give you all. This was to start the conversation that you need to finish with her. Make an appointment. Again, www.tipswithtella.com. I have put it in there at least 3 times in the comments. And thank you, Sister Kimberly, for the introduction. Thank you for bringing her into our world.
Yes.
Thank you, GGU Terry.
GGU.
We was talking about LLCs, one of your favorite topics. And so we just,
Terry, I ain't forget about you.
Again, tipswithtella.com. Please go and visit her website. See all the things that they offered. It's more than just LLCs, and we're gonna and I can't wait to hear her telling me, yes, I got a phone call. Yes, somebody sent an internet inquiry. Whatever. We believe that you're gonna do it. So the question could be, what does that have to do with Chris and Carlette Live Life Interruptions? Life interruptions happen in your life, but you have to be prepared with it. Have your business, as they say, your business straight, your papers together, so you are not cheated out of anything. Your children are not cheated, and you can have better living organization. You know where your stuff is, where it's going, and it's protected. People, we have to work smarter and not necessarily harder. Okay. Anything you want to say before we close out?
We got some great shows coming up though. We
do.
One of them. So we're gonna do a follow up to this show, and maybe sometime this week we might have a coach come on. We're gonna have a coach come on, football coach, to talk about how he's moving the team to the next phase of their career.
And I believe that show will be a great inspiration for you parents who are thinking about coaching, or you tired of screaming from the sidelines. Go and be involved and see what it's like on that side, because believe it or not, they're not getting paid. They're all volunteers. This is definitely an act of love and service to our children. So be nice to your kids' coach, okay? To their little league coach, be nice, or their dance coach, or their piano instructor, whatever. Be nice. All right. So I always tell you every week, it's time to pray. It is time to pray like never before. You needed to pray more today than you did on yesterday. And I'm going to tell you, Jesus is waiting to hear your voice. If you don't know the Lord as your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, if you don't know him as Lord and Savior, please let us know. Send us a DM. We would love to lead you to the Lord. We would love to pray with you. And we're here for that. Not only do we want to talk about it, we also want to share Christ with you. So as always, pray some more. Again, if you need to reach out, you say, listen, I do want to make Lord Jesus the Lord of my life. Inbox us. We'll get back to you. Trust and believe, because we get alerts. So we appreciate you. We love you. Thank you, and see you next week.
Peace. Wrong button, y'all. Wrong button.
Thanks for joining us this week on Chris and Carlette Live. Make sure to visit our website, chrisandcarlette.com. If you're on Facebook, share this broadcast. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to our show. You may also find us on Apple Podcast, where you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. Let us stay in contact with you by texting CNC Live to 474747. That's CNC Live to 474747.
See life.